All right, welcome back everyone to the Vulcun Deckmasters. We're onwards to the grand finals of the entire event, where it's going to be between Trump and Cipher. So, do you know anything about Cipher, Crib? No.
No, not much. Cypher's one of the few players that I've actually never cast. I've seen him around a bit. I've seen like clips of some of his games. I think mostly from this tournament, in fact. But no, not much. I've never really got a chance to see what's going on. But I mean, he made it here, and this has been a tournament with a lot of games. So you have to expect that players who made it through have more than just luck on their side. The final will be Trump versus Cipher. It is going to be a best of 9, so both players have brought 5 classes in this conquest match. And you know, with 5 classes, you can still kind of pick 5 top tier classes. It's something that we've kind of seen in the Archon tournament,
All right.
where 2 teams have to pick 6 classes. It's always like one that's like kind of sketchy. So all players can still bring really top tier decks, but I feel like if one of them tries to be a bit too creative, it can really, really backfire in this format.
Yeah, and we see Trump here. Like his lineup is well. First of all, what are the classes that they both play? Well, it's very simple: Warrior, Warlock, Hunter, Mage, Hunter, Rogue. They both play those exact classes, but Cypher brought a mage where Trump brought a paladin. So it's not really like a massive discrepancy. It's still bringing, 4 of the expected classes to their lineups. And one of them is a bit different. Very often in Trump's position, instead of the paladin, you will expect mage. So I think Trump's the one here who's kind of switching the top tier classes around a little bit because he's very comfortable with the paladin. We've seen him play it. Despite the ATLC, the week where everything went wrong with the mid-range paladin, I think overall it's still a deck that he plays amazingly well.
Yeah, he has done pretty well on ladder with mid-range Paladin, which is why I think he constantly tries it in Conquest mode tournaments. But I think he hasn't had much tournament success with the deck. The tournament scene is a little bit different than the ladder one, and it might be because of that, but maybe not. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
They are playing for a lot of money, though. I mean, we talked about the difference between 3rd and 4th place, which we just saw. Life Coach versus Surrender. They were basically playing for 5 versus 3,000 bucks. So the difference is 2,000 bucks. It's basically a game for 2,000 bucks. Well, the grand final here, first place gets $16,000 and 100 World Championship points, while second place only gets $8,000 and 50 World Championship points. So basically, this crazy like best of 9 that we're about to see is a match for 8,000 bucks and an additional 50 World Championship points,
Yeah.
which is pretty insane.
Yeah, when you look at the amount of points you get even by winning the ladder, you're never going to get nearly as much as from a live event or,
Right.
an online event that's qualifying for BlizzCon points. This is a huge amount, basically, and whoever gets this is going to be climbing quite far on the ladder of the people who actually get invited to the tournament. Now, $16,000 is a substantial prize pool. If you look at it, it's just, I mean, some of the players who were already eliminated are still getting a share of the total $50,000 from the group stage. I think each victory the players accumulated gave them $200, so they had an incentive to really push their performance as much as they could. And now going for the top 4, I mean, $16,000 is effectively, a third of the entire money that's being put up. If not
Yeah.
more than that, I think it's like half of the entire top 4 money is going to the first player, so that's a lot. A lot of
Yeah, it is
comeback
a lot
bars.
indeed. I just took a look at Trump's recent record. Trump has been like on a pretty insane win streak. Um, it looks like he has won 5 matches in a row, um, but his one loss was in the Geico tournament, which is kind of like strange rules. It wasn't like
Right.
Conquest and regular format. And so before that, he won another 5, and then the one loss was in Challenge Stone. And before that, I think it's at least 1 win. So he's cruising on like an insane amount of wins in a row. In July alone, his tournament record is 10-1, and that's just the Geico loss.
Yeah, and how many Paladin wins were those is what I'm kind of curious about, because I don't know how much Handlock he plays anymore compared to
I think
what he
like
used
1.
to. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm figuring. It's one of those things where the metagame is, I wouldn't say figured out, but it's good that on the 22nd we're getting a new amount of content pushed out. Hopefully, including new cards. Again, I have no idea, so we'll see exactly when that happens. Maybe Trump will be back with playing Paladin as a top tier deck.
Well,
Until
here we
then,
go.
we see a freeze mage from Cipher.
And we see Paladin.
Yeah, Cipher has played a lot of freeze mage during the Vulcan League so far. It's one of the decks that I've
Mm.
seen him play the most, to the point where 1 week where he brought it, um, one week where he didn't bring it, I was actually very surprised because it's kind of like the dog syndrome, right? Dog also plays only freeze mage pretty much all the time. So
A
if you
lot
see
of
him bring a
tournament players
tempo
like that.
mage, yeah, exactly. They have a huge preference for that deck because it's very slow. Allows you to set up your strategy, take your time, and it doesn't really have too many horrible matchups.
Well, the Paladin is probably one of its best matchups. Even the very, very aggressive Divine Shield,
Yeah.
Divine Favor type of Paladin, it's even favored against that, and the rest are just a, complete wash. Whoa! Is that Freeze
Whoa,
Mage?
it's not anymore. What on earth is happening here? Cipher, you're switching up your gears and I'm not comfortable with this. I can't cast this game. I'm out, Crip.
Um, yeah, well, Trump's probably a little surprised as well, but he's probably pleasantly surprised because he thought he was in a dire situation, and instead he's in a fair one. I mean,
Wow,
Vader,
is that
this is probably Tempo Mage if it's not Freeze Mage, and
right?
Trump's thinking like, if I am up against Tempo Mage, I just kind of have to go for it.
Put this apple on your head.
But he's much happier in this situation than against the Freeze Mage.
Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
god. That's a great pickup.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be just like you.
Yeah, this might get out of control really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Cypher picks up a Frostbolt off the top, this is pretty much what's going to seal the game, potentially. It's one of those small things, like if he doesn't find Consecration soon, or Shielded Minibot, this is just about to get out of hand.
Yeah. Cipher just needs something to play, really. Like, it doesn't even have to be that good.
Yeah, just keep going with the tempo, and that's a whiff,
Nope,
unfortunately
nope.
for him.
Yeah, he did, in fact, whiff.
But it's still fine, because your 0-2 is likely to tank a hit from the next minion, if you trade away the Sorcerer's Apprentice, let's say.
I don't know. On turn 3, you can get mustered, and that's when things can start to go horribly wrong.
Yeah, you have to
Um,
trade, right, into the Juggler.
Yeah, so you kind of have to trade here. You can't really push for damage. So do you value the Mana Worm or the Sorcerer Apprentice more? I feel like the Sorcerer Apprentice is a little bit more valuable. Plus, you can push for a little bit more damage.
Is it? I don't know, Mana Worm survives Consecration. I think that's one argument that
Okay.
could be made for it. Oh man, Trump is... at least he can play an Aldor for tempo. It's like the
Yep.
one good thing.
Tempo Aldor. He's going to get Yeti'd, though. It's going to be Yeti into Lotheb into eventually a Doctor Boom.
That's scary.
alright.
There's
It
a
is-
BGH though. There's a BGH.
He does have a pretty nice curve here. It's certainly going to be a pretty nice back and forth game for a few turns, with Trump probably doing most of the struggling.
I don't know. This Truce Over Champion with the Sludge Belcher and the BGH for Dr. Boom. Like from our perspective, it's looking like Trump's got answers for what Cypher's going to throw his way. Because Cypher's
Right.
effectively like you could almost discount the Kazan Mystic. Like it almost
Right.
doesn't matter.
I like the
Whoa.
Shredder here over the True Silver, actually.
Did he not
the
kill the Mana Worm?
Right, but
Oh,
like
no, he killed
no,
the 0-2. Yes, right. With the True
Yeah,
Silver.
the Mana Worm really doesn't represent anything, and the True Silver doesn't deal with a Yeti. So I kind of like this play a little bit better. If the 3/3 dies to the Yeti, then you basically True Silver that.
Yeah, and if you play, in
you
this
want.
case, if you play Lotheb from Cypher's perspective, you're kind of protected against Consecration, but it still leaves you open to the True Server Champion, so... Not out of the woods yet, but at least his turn 6 for Cypher, that is still looking, playable. You've got the Kazan Mystic with Unstable Portal, and you had no turn 6 prior to that.
I think I'd like to see a True Silver here. I think killing the Mana Worm with a creature and True Silver
But-
down.
Belcher.
I mean, Belcher's just gonna die, which means you're committed to Consecrate next turn.
Oh man.
Which I don't like as much, but Trump made it pretty quickly. So I mean, he's got his game plan here. I'm gonna trust Trump here. Trust the Trump.
Trust the Trump.
Trust the Trump.
Okay, so here you're looking for an Unstable Portal with Alec here.
What to do?
Are you?
Yeah. That's what happened last time, I think. You know what? I think
You
Cipher might
couldn't
have
play
been.
it though. Like I think you're looking for an unstable portal into Doctor Boom, so you can play Doctor Boom, follow up with Doctor Boom.
What happens then?
Carnage.
Oh man, sick 2-drop, mate. Oh wow! Whoa!
Okay. See, this is why we trust the Trump guys.
I don't even know what to say. You have to sacrifice the Yeti and hope to get something else. Like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice the Yeti and
This
hope
is
to get
so
a
ridiculous.
reasonable spare part. If you can get a flip though, you're in. Oh my god!
Oh
He
my
gets a flip.
god, he gets the flip. He gets it. Goodbye, Flame Tongue. What? Okay, no, I thought he flipped the Belgian. What? No, you couldn't flip the Flame Tongue. What are you doing, Cypher?
Oh my god!
Thank you.
Oh, Hearthstone. What's happening? Oh, I think I have to leave, man. I don't
That
understand
was
what's going on.
not supposed to happen.
This is why Cypher needs to play Freeze Mage. I think he just realized he didn't kill Flame Tongue.
So, wait. He killed his Pagel for no reason. And then he killed his Lotheb for no reason.
If I'm dying. Okay, wait. Surely something good's gonna come out of this. I mean, this was a sacrifice to the gods. Like, something good has to come out of this for Cypher. That BGH says otherwise, but I believe.
All I know is I'm never doubting Trump again. I mean, he knew all that stuff was going to happen, right?
He's like, nobody knows what to do with the reversing switch. Because I'm getting Flame Tongue right there.
So here you want a BGH Dr. Boom for sure, but how do you marginalize the rest here? I guess you can ooze into a 1/1. And then maybe dude into the other one.
Could you just play your Dr. Boom?
It seems a little risky.
Yeah. Alright, that's a pretty good...
Pretty good indeed.
Put this apple on your head.
Yeah, it seems like the juggler has an efficient play here, but you just set up a lot of targets that could die to the boombot. Wow! Trust Trump, boys. Trust the Trump.
You know what, man? TSM solo mid's having a field day.
Yeah.
Team solo mid.
All I know is like I'm feeling good wearing the same shirt as Trump right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Does it irk you when people say TSM solo mid? Like people say an ATM machine? No, it doesn't.
No, I don't really get those things. Alright, so if you're Cipher here, I guess you Frostbolt and ping your face. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, after the Natpiggle reversing switch, you might as well.
Yeah, it's in line with the previous play, right?
Yeah, it's consistent with your game plan, which is no game plan at all.
Man.
I think he's going to be biting his nails about that one for a long time to come.
What I really wonder is, like, how that will affect him in the games to come.
Yeah, the mental state, really. Because very often a mistake like this can cost you your mental state, if not the game itself. Like, beyond that, it's like, we spoke of this, you know, during the Archon Team League as well. It's happened when a player loses a game and then you see him just lose 3 more games, and he just because of small misplays that he makes. And it takes its toll on you as a player. That's pretty much game, right? Because Rag can't kill... Yeah, because the Blessing of Kings concept is enough.
Yeah. Even if Rag snipes the BGH, Trump needs 6 damage to have lethal, but he has 6 damage.
Well, 1-8 right there. So, Azure Drake in mid-range Pally, right? I'm not hallucinating this. I kind of didn't wait, and I kind of didn't notice it, but it's not that common of a card, is it?
No, I feel like Trump really kind of took a bit of a risk playing this Paladin, but again, we're gonna trust the Trump, and it looks like it worked out really well for him. Really well. Like he won a game right off the bat with it.
Yeah.
Also, possibly some ridiculously large tilt factor towards Cipher. So Trump is in like That looks like 1-0, but it might be a little bit more than that. It might be like 1.5 to 0 right now.
Yeah, he's got the upper hand at least mentally. Like, there's no way Cipher is not at least partially affected by this. Like, looking at your own misplays, because he realized it. Like, we saw him on his face, and
Yeah.
we saw him in the emotes. Like, he knew it. He knew what he did, and that's when suddenly you wish you could just escape concede, but you know you have to play the game out. So I guess Trump with his paladin locked up is just going to be playing the top tier decks. You know, Warlock, Warrior, Hunter, Rogue. We have to assume. Actually, I don't even know what to assume from Trump anymore, Warlock wise. I used to say Handlock, but that has changed a little bit. Now he's a little bit more diverse in the
Yeah,
Warlock side of plays.
for a long time on the tournament level, he was playing the Zoo, and then for a long time after that, it was Handlock, and we have seen some Dragon Lock from him, I think, most recently. So if I'd guess that. He seems to have like large stages.
He had like a huge phase of each deck. He rotates them in and out.
All right, well that's double Belcher, so this looks like a Control Warrior here.
Yeah.
And if it's Control Warrior against it's got a Void Caller, so it could be Zoo, it could be Demon Zoo, it could be like Demon Handlock. Most likely it's like Demon Zoo though.
I mean, I think the Zoolock against Control tends to win a bit more often than against Patron. Because, like, well, not even a bit, a lot more often. Because Patron, I think, is a really tough matchup for Zoo. Whereas against Control Warrior, you can still get that advantage that you used to, where you're able to pressure him with death rattles that he can't efficiently remove.
Okay. Well, Cipher has like the dream hand against Zoo, but
And Trump has the opposite.
No, Trump has a good hand against like Cypher's like if you're playing against the Warrior and the Warrior has like the best hand against you, you want a hand like the one Trump has. You want one with the eggs that you could like Argus up and power overwhelm, and you want the burst the Doom Guard.
I mean, do you coin out your... Because if you coin out Acolyte, then it's to get the Cruel Task value afterwards, but then if he's got Power Overwhelming, you're losing your Acolyte for no reason, and he gets a 4/4, so it's horrible.
That just seems really bad. Like, I'm okay with Armor Up, I'm okay with Axe.
Yeah.
Acolyte seems really, really unnecessary. Like, it's not so much just the Acolyte, it's like, just having that coin is really good.
Yeah. Well, Trump's gonna start getting those eggs out, and now Cipher has the Death Bite though to handle that. No executes yet to really abuse that AoE after the fact, but do you think he's gonna go for the Fiery War Axe Cruel Task play instead of Death Bite?
No, certainly not. The Death Bite seems to be the play. Okay. And Trump is again in a pretty good position here. If he just plays the Void Caller, he's only got the Doom Guard behind, and if Deathspite ends up killing it, because of the order in which the cards were played, the Death Rattle off of the weapon will trigger first, which means it won't be vulnerable to execute.
Okay, so I guess if Cipher decides to play the Acolyte of Pain, he's getting an extra shot at execute for the next few turns. He's gonna get like 2 shots at execute to kill that Doom Guard. Oh man, that can't feel too good though, is the problem.
I actually think you might just pass here.
Yeah, I thought he would pass, but...
Okay, well he's gonna get punished for this.
Yep, Cruel Task is not gonna solve the problem.
No, he's actually got Cruel Task and Argus, which is like completely insane.
Yeah.
And I think 5 is a good number. But maybe you just want to protect your...
Your Doom Guard?
No, maybe you just want to protect your Abusive Sergeant. So maybe you actually Argus the Abusive Sergeant so they don't get killed by like Cruel Task or a Whirlwind. Yeah. I like it. Good stuff from Trump, man. Really good stuff. The thing that I think might happen though is it's going to be pretty hard to play around Revenge.
Yeah, I don't think at this point it's even like a concern of yours, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you can't really do it, so...
Right. But at the same time, Cipher is he's so far behind on tempo, and he doesn't have any effective removal against the big threats that Trump already has on the board. And he doesn't have enough mana to just do anything really. That's just the issue here. Like, what do you do?
That was a crazy, like, Trump's initial hand was pretty much unplayable against most circumstances, but that specific hand from Cipher pretty much got
exactly.
countered by like everything that Trump did. It was crazy.
Right. It was exactly what I was saying. Like if Trump had what people would consider generally a good zoo hand, it would have been bad because like the axes and stuff would have just killed all the creatures.
Yeah.
Because Cipher had a really good anti-zoo hand, but considering Cipher's really good anti-zoo hand, Trump had like the best counter to that.
Is he one off lethal? Purposely? Like,
Yes,
Trump
he is
can
one off
dig
lethal
for
right
one
now.
more. Didn't find it. Okay.
No, he does not.
So he's possibly gonna live. We know for a fact that he wants to get a revenge off, and I think maybe that's the game plan he's going for. Is how can I get this revenge to kill the 6/8, and that's only if I get 5 damage off my minions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like Brawl would have been really good for Cipher here. It's like probably the most consistent out to get out of this situation.
I don't know. I think
Last turn, of course.
Execute's probably the best thing. But anyway, you really have to just think on what can happen. Like if you're Trump here, if you just go all out face and get brawled, it's not really all that bad. This is actually kind of bad. And he's gonna have to play the Imp Gang boss. Okay.
So I think this is actually getting punished much more severely by many more lines of play from the Warrior than going full face. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got it.
Wow, that is a pickup. That is a crazy pickup from Cipher.
Yeah, that's revenge, shield block, shield slam. You end the turn with quite a bit of life.
Yeah, you're safe from immediate death.
Oh man, revenge. That's a cool card.
Trump is not batting a single eyelid. Like, all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's, I guess if you get the turn 8 implosion and the imps live and Mal'Ganis follows up, like that's enough to be a problem. But,
Yeah. Just because he has all those demons, like he has so many of them that the Mal'Ganis is so threatening. But at the same time, Cipher can really start to stabilize here. The thing is, like, you want to gain some life, so you want to play the Shield Maiden, but that's not really the highest tempo play. And you kind of need tempo before you can start to stabilize.
So maybe a War Axe, Cruel Task, Armor Up would be a little bit more... like, you can clear the board away a little bit and then Armor Up on the back of it. So you're losing basically 3 health from the Shield Maiden, but you're getting the Axe and the Cruel Task on the board.
What now?
Yeah. Well, I kind of like that, actually. Because the Cruel Task, it prevents, like, 1 damage. You can armor up with just 2 damage. And the Axe is pretty nice tempo.
Oh, man. Okay, he's 3 off lethal.
I like the Doctor Boom as well.
Uh-oh. There have been horror stories of these moments.
No, you really can't make it work because if you get a good implosion, there's not enough space on the board.
I wonder.
Cipher is still 2 turns from a theoretical Alex Straza, even if he had it. This is like... This is hell.
Mm-hmm.
Put this apple on your head.
Okay. Trump's got to go for this. This can end really badly. If he implosions for like 2 and it kills his Imp Gang boss in 1/1.
Like if the boombots end up dying from the juggles and then stuff dies on the board before he can actually make trades, that's the worst. He's going for the 66%, but then, okay, so no punishment here from what we can tell. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it is too.
Juggler
the juggle
has-
happens though.
Oh!
Wow!
Oh my god, every single time. And Cipher, just, you know, disbelieving, like I am really at this point.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can do. Well, I mean, he's still not out of it though. Like, he's still not out of it.
No, he's not. But it is looking pretty bad. He had a huge turn with the Revenge, but every other turn in this game, he was kind of pedaling backwards.
All right, let's give that juggle a bit more value before it goes. Should have started with Cruel Task, right? Would it have mattered? Like, because the juggler would have died, and then the death rattle triggers, but the juggler is already dead, and then the death rattle phase spawns, and then...
And that's it.
Yeah, that's gonna be game. Trump's gonna take it
That's the
2-0
well
over
played.
Cipher at this point. So, 2 first games go to Trump.
Yeah, Trump with a pretty commanding lead. That was a pretty brutal game for Cipher, though. I mean, you really can't do too much in that spot. I feel like Cipher had the correct line of play, like the Doctor Boom. I think the Doctor Boom or the Cruel Task was like a good play, but I think a very bad play would have been the Shield Main in that turn, because it's kind of like you just almost always lose anyway, just drawing out a loss rather than pushing for a win. So, I mean, that just tells me that Cipher is perhaps like back in the zone again, at least. So maybe he's recovered from the horrifying experience in the opening game. And yeah, maybe he can bring it back here. Maybe he can take a few games and swing it back even. In terms of decks, of course, Cipher still has all 5 available. As he has not yet won a game. Trump has won with Warlock and Paladin, so he's got Warrior, Hunter, and Rogue. And that's a pretty strong lineup left to go. Often in Conquest mode, it's the last few decks that really screw you up. But in this case for Trump, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, all those decks I think are going to be able to take at least 1 win from one of the decks in Cypher's lineup. I mean, all of them are top tier decks at the moment, and they've got a pretty good matchup across the board, no matter what they face off against. And I think once you start getting to those 60-40s, it's even more likely that Trump's manages to carry those decks forward. Oh man, this is actually Control Warrior versus Midrange Hunter. It's a pretty tough matchup for the Control Warrior. The high main's coming on time.
Yeah. Yeah, the Control Warrior does really have a hard time against some of the threats, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they actually, work. Like, the Sludge Belcher is not really a threat yet. The Animal Companion is not a guaranteed threat. And if Trump comes out slow here, it's going to be bad for him.
Yeah, and Cipher keeps, he keeps a revenge in the early game. The bow's out, and he's got the War Axe, man. Cipher picking up some pretty decent hands here with his Warrior.
Now, I don't know how useful the Revenge is going to be. Often the mid-range Hunter is going to try to battle for the board until you suddenly die from like 15 or so.
Yeah, maybe you can actually get value out of it after killing a high main, and then you can kill the 2/2s. Like, after you punch your face into it and are obviously below 15 at that point.
Yeah. Okay. Trump goes for it. I don't know what's the best here. Probably Misha, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
it's not Leok.
Misha would have been probably the best. Leok. Actually, I think Huffer would have been better just because it deals 8. Like 3 mana, 8 damage. Sounds good.
Yeah, but I feel like he's not really playing the face game. Like, he kind of wants to control the board and then just develop the board enough to where it's very, very threatening.
Right. Well, that's... I mean, if Animal Companion is trading 1 for 1 of the War Axe, you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, if you were happy with Huffer doing 8, Leok did 6, I guess. And took up 2 charges, so I guess it's about the same.
Yeah.
Let's another minion maybe get an extra attack in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Cipher has nothing here, so maybe
The Harrison Jones is
actually
pretty sweet, yeah. I don't mind.
maybe actually you just revenge. I don't think you're
Yeah,
getting that
because
much value out
you're
of it.
right, you're right. Like, it's basically going to be a whirlwind later on. I guess it's good if there's a snake trap from Trump or a Haunted Creeper later on that you can pop and then kill everything, or an Unleash the Hounds, the post-Unleash disaster. There's a few situations where it's going to be great, but 2 mana, how often are you going to be able to weave it in on those turns? So you're right, I think Revenge makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and he definitely agrees with you, so...
Yeah, this is, like, as the Control Warrior, the way you lose this game is the mid-range Hunter gets too much tempo.
Well, and Trump is not doing too bad. You know, he had the like I want to say a slowish start without mad scientists or jugglers or creepers, but he's picking up the mid game. It's good for Cipher that he's got this Harrison Jones and the ability to pop the shredder if he wants to.
Alright, this is a pretty big deal here if Trump gets a 4-attack minion. I believe there are like 3 or 4. Alright, well, a 3-2. It's not that
yeah, you're
bad.
right. I was gonna say no, but there's One-Eyed Cheat. I keep forgetting about that guy. It was like Succubus, Millhouse, and then, oh wait, One-Eyed Cheat.
And then the Patient Assassin's kind of 4-attack, and then the Doomsayer's kind of 4-attack.
It's kind of 4-attack, yeah. Doomsayer.
Yeah,
God.
so Trump kind of had like 5 outs there.
Yeah.
So about like 8%.
Not good enough. Although
I'm
that's
surprised to see the Lothab here. I kind of wanted to see Animal Companion, even the Freeze Trap.
like
Like,
Leok
yeah,
would have been
it
so
sucks.
good.
It sucks to Freeze Trap Harrison, but like you're playing the tempo game, and if you Freeze Trap a Harrison, even if he plays it for 7 mana, he can draw another card. You don't really care.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the biggest deal. No, I thought he was gonna play Animal Companion, see if he could trade. Then if he couldn't, I mean, he could trade no matter what, because Misha was gonna tank the hit. Huffer could charge into it, and then Leok would have buffed up the 3/2.
Yeah.
So, like all the options would have been pretty much okay. Well, Belcher comes down for Cipher. I think Cipher is like at the point where he's stabilized a lot, and unless we see a high main come out, it's gonna be tough to get him out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's really entrenched at the moment.
I see the quick shot. Yep. Alright, well, Cipher can execute the 4-1 if he wishes. I feel like Dr. Boom might be a pretty good push from Cipher. Again, he's playing consistent. He is playing the tempo game. Execute seems like the overly defensive play, but you can't just like execute and play nothing. And then even Acolyte's kind of like nothing. I actually really like Dr. Boom here.
Yeah, I think it's the better play. As you said, you know, it's consistent with the tempo play, and even though you're going to be taking potentially a bit more damage very often, it's not going to be as big a deal as a threat you're posing down. It's only weak to, at the moment, like Unleash Freezing Trap, where you kill the boom bots, but then it's not even that bad. Trump picks up the Huffer. Oh. Okay.
I think this might be good enough to unleash. I mean, you can't ever hope for more damage.
Yeah, not against the Control Warrior. I don't think it's happening. In which case, Leok would have been better.
Yeah, it would have been a bit
by a
harder
tiny
to kill.
margin. Yeah.
Pushes for the same amount of damage.
But still, I mean, you're looking at 13 damage. Warrior's down to, 6 life. And then he's got to bring himself back up while dealing with your board. So he's got to have Shield Maiden, Shield Slam, Shield Block, Shield Slam with a combination of a possible Armor Smith as well would be great for Cipher.
Yeah, it's really Armor Smith that he probably needs to start getting back into this. Some kind of armor gain for sure.
Ah, that's a good pickup here for the Boombot. If it kills a 4-1, that's actually going to give Cipher a lot of breathing room.
Another 4 though, wow. Silence.
Execute could be used here, I guess, but...
Yeah, I think it is going to be used. All Cipher really has to do is stall until he can Alistraza himself next turn. And the Alistraza is usually going to lead to a win, but mostly because he has the board already.
Yeah, what's also interesting is that if a high main comes out, this Owl that Cipher plays in his Control Warrior, I'd like to point out, is actually going to be able to handle that high main very nicely, because he's going to have Dr. Boom on the board still at that point. So it's only if Trump plays Freezing Trap and then Dr. Boom comes back that it's going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to Shield Slam here. Shield Slam the 1-1. I think there's some chance of that. Yeah.
Oh man, Shield Slamming.
Okay.
Wait, could he actually get lethal? Actually, if he went face with that Dr. Boom, I think he set up lethal with Grom next turn. And I think he still does, right? He's got 10 plus 11 here, so he's got a lethal.
Still does.
From his perspective. It's not quite there, but... Yeah, sacrificing a Belcher to the Death Bite. That can't feel too good.
No.
It's really just being thrown away. So there's two lines of play depending on what you think the trap is going to be. I think no matter what, the Death Bite is going to be clearing snake traps, so you don't worry about that. It's whether or not you attack first with your face, or you keep the one armor in case it's an explosive trap, and then you attack the slime with your weapon, and your Doctor Boom takes a bit more damage, but then you keep the one extra armor. It's like one health difference.
Okay. Well, he gets the Alistraws out.
Face
Trump
damage.
gets a lot more face damage.
Yeah, that's actually one of the few cards that Trump was really looking for here. Because at this point, he really has to push for damage. Like, Cipher is about to just retaliate with lethal. And at the moment, actually, this hand from... Like, this board from Trump is a bit of an issue. Ah, never mind.
Yeah, the Belcher kind of stops it. For Trump to win, he's probably going to have to get a silence, or he's going to have to get a quick shot into...
Iron Beak, I guess. That would be even better.
Well, if Cipher plays the Sludge Belcher, he might not armor up, maybe.
Yeah, if he goes for like the Death Bite instead of
I don't know, it depends.
yeah.
But it is going to be a pretty close game. It seems like Cipher will pull up ahead with the Sludge Belcher draw, though.
Could you sound sub that slime and kill the 3-1? Or the mat? Like, what do you do with this?
I think you have to get rid of that slime just so you can push for damage with Alistraza, because you will not be alive in this game very long. Yeah, so
now what kills you? Owl kills you, and that's about it. Actually, Freezing Trap would do it as well. Like, from your perspective, you think Freezing Trap could save you with Alex? It's freezing. Alright, so Trump thinks that the Alex is just going to return. But it's just going to do that, and then Grom's
It's going to be the opposite. Grom's going to clean up.
Yep.
This is going to be lethal. Cipher is going to get his first point here. So it is going to be 2-1, unless he misses it. I don't think he will.
I mean, I hope he doesn't. Yeah. Misdirection! Into the warrior's face. Surprise!
Oh yeah, that would have been truly something. That moment where Misdirection wins a tournament.
Yeah.
Last seen in 2013.
Yeah, that was like... I don't think it's ever... Like, it's been played in some people's decks, like back on Gakaches, but that's about it. Like, on the alpha.
Yep.
Never before, never after.
Alright, well, Cipher recovering pretty big from the first slip-up. He's been playing on point since then, and he's getting a point on the board. Maybe we'll have a close series on our hand. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, it's looking like if Cipher equalizes with the next match, the next game that is 2-2, then certainly the best of 5 doesn't look as far off as a win for Cipher. Interestingly enough, he's one of 2 players who were in this league for Fate to Karma. There was also Hawkeye, but Hawkeye did really poorly in the group stage, due possibly to his insistence of bringing Shaman every single time, and I think that really ended up being a huge drawback. But if Cipher takes this, I think that's going to be like the first big win for Fate to Karma after their formation as a team.
Okay, yeah, well, that's really good. It's certainly one of the bigger tournaments out there. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I want to know now if Cipher is gonna go back to his mage that he played earlier, or if he's gonna wait a longer time for that.
Let the hunt begin.
We'll see. We'll see. Looks like it's going to be a match in reverse here. Trump probably playing Grim Patron, and Cipher with the Web Spinner is probably playing mid-range as well.
Yeah, Web Spinner pretty much never seen play anywhere else. Yeah, and then I remember the days of Undertaker. I still have nightmares. Double Web Spinner starts kind of okay. I mean, with the knife trigger, the high main's actually crucial here because he's got such a good early game. It's likely he's going to be able to find decent transitions after this. And then the Lotheb high main, oh my god, Cipher. This should be... No, this is insane.
He's going to the juggler first, which is often a really risky play.
Yeah. I guess the War Axe is a risky play, but if you play one web spinner and you don't coin out the second one, then your problem becomes Cruel Taskmaster. In which case you just lose like 2 turns to it instead of just the one with the juggler, where you then split the damage with the double web spinner. Anyway, it's like one of those small situations you barely ever see happen, because those are almost never happen anymore with web spinners.
Well, Cipher's going to have to get a pretty decent 3-drop, otherwise Trump might run away with it here.
Yeah, double Armorsmith start for Trump. I mean, hell, count me in. Whoa.
Well, the mid-range hunter does kind of struggle against the other hunters.
What's interesting is, since Trump didn't win with his mid-range, there's a chance of a mirror match later on, and at that point, the Kazan Mystic becomes pretty powerful.
We've seen the Kazan Mystic a few times now. We've seen it in Cipher's mage deck as well, remember?
Wait, Trump doesn't care about the possibility of a Houndmaster at all? Like, not a single bit of respect was given to that guy.
Well, I think the idea is, like... I don't know.
I mean, I guess...
He could have killed both of them, actually, yeah.
I guess ultimately what he's thinking is, if this gets damaged, I can always finish it off with the 2-4 and finish off the Houndmaster with the axe. Because if that was the foresight, then he's probably going to do it very quickly.
I think it's time. I think it's Grim Patron and a Rage.
Yeah, and then you got a Grim Patron Whirlwind on 6, so you're probably going to be golden either way.
I'm totally serious.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I'm not laughing either.
You're laughing!
I'm laughing, but like, I'm not laughing. The thing. It's like I'm laughing about the laugh, you know? It's
Yeah, and this is like a nightmare situation for mid-range.
Well, he's got Direwolf Alpha with Unleash, so he could handle a bunch of, 2 attack patrons, 2 health patrons, but not so many of the smaller sized ones. Wait, actually, if he could only silence one of them.
Well, like,
so if he plays...
kind of can. What if he silences like the 3-2 and then kill commands the other?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You could always get rid of both, and then there's no way they're going to multiply. And then if another wave of them hits, you've got the Direwolf Unleash to kind of, remove the biggest part of them. But you really have to find a way to kill that last 3-3, because then he's just going to repopulate them on your hounds. That's always a big issue.
Alright.
Yeah,
It's like that is the play that's going to be made here. Very defensive, but you have to be, because, like, I mean... If you have a chance to get out of a really bad Grim Patron situation, then you just take it. So good stuff from Cipher here. Trump, he can't really make the Whirlwind play, I don't think. It just seems a bit weak now.
You could make it with Patron and follow it up with an Unstable Ghoul. I mean, you could play Unstable Armorsmith, which again just sets up an even better Patron on the following turn.
I think that's
you can deal with High Main. Yeah, you can deal with High Main with Execute.
Well, I actually don't think there's any other play. I think it is Armorsmith Ghoul, and maybe even trade into the Owl with the 2-1, because that thing's dead.
What now?
Oh, you might as well trade into it, because if there's another Houndmaster, then suddenly it's kind of annoying because you don't get the patron value you want against the High Main.
Right.
He's gonna go for it. All right, Trump with the patron all-ins.
A little optimistic, but all right.
Does that ever get punished? Like,
yeah, sometimes it does.
Like right now, I don't know how Trump is expecting those patrons to give him the massive amount of value he wants. Like, if he plays High Main here, if Cipher does, then an Execute would get rid of the body with the 3-1 and just smash it into it. And then two dual 2-2s come out. One of them dies with a 3-3, and the 3-3 becomes a 3-1, which then dies to Unleash. So I think Cipher is not too bothered by those patrons at the moment.
Alright.
Yeah, the Ghoul is going to be a problem, though. Oh, man. That Ghoul. Trust the Trump.
Trust the Trump. He's just going for it. Face damage, boys.
So let's think. If you attack with the high main into the 1/3, and then you play Unleash Direwolf, do you remove most of the things that your opponent gets? You remove everything besides one patron, I think. Oh no, you remove everything but 2. Ooh,
No,
that's an issue.
I think the play.
You have to kill that patron over there.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to kill command that patron.
Yeah, like even if you do that, you're still in a bit of trouble though.
Yeah, because you still can't get the Unleashed Direwolf. Like, one turn later would be so much better for him. It's like a combination of plays that would solve the problem, but at the moment, not a single one of them alone is doing enough. Oh, man. Well, he's gonna go for it. I guess desperation makes you do the best you can.
Yeah. Unleash is gonna have some effect here, but not a lot.
Not nearly as much as he wants it to. If he kills the Armor Smith, I'll be surprised. It pretty much has to go phase.
Yeah, he has to go face here. It's funny enough that Trump's now playing the face game.
Oh wow!
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that is pretty much what Trump was looking for. I mean,
That is basic.
everything
He get-
dies. No
Yeah,
board.
he gets
no
to clear
at
the
all.
board.
Yeah,
He gets
there's
to
no more
completely clear the board,
board.
gain
This
a
is
ridiculous
obscene.
amount of armor.
Yeah, and goodbye, Cipher.
I wonder.
Okay. Trump is doing some Excel spreadsheet calculations.
Well, I think the issue is that you spawn too many patrons, perhaps.
Okay, you mean the older ones don't recycle because they're
Yeah, like I
Okay.
think what you might want to do is actually suicide one of the full life 3/3 patrons into the high main,
Okay, I can see
and then
that.
take
Since they all have
turns with the
charge.
remaining one. So
Yeah.
you'd even save your execute.
Mhm.
See, I mean that's the problem right now. Yeah, you have to suicide the full health one.
Or you could let the high main be. No, I don't think you let the high main be.
No, I don't think you let the high main be.
Actually, Trump lets the high main be. He's like, you know what? Enjoy that 6-3 against my board of patrons. The Lion King versus the Drunken Dwarves.
Oh man, Cipher, what? Yeah, you have nothing.
So Crip is like, what are you gonna... Okay, that's good. Get out of
Yeah,
here. Sorry, Cypher.
everyone got in there that game,
Yeah,
and,
and Cipher
Trump takes it
insane.
with that. So Trump, 2 more points required. Cipher needs 4. That is a pretty commanding lead. Often, again, in this situation, it's not as like dominant because usually you have the bad decks on the back end. But Trump still has to win with Rogue and Hunter.
Yep.
So the Rogue might struggle a little bit, but I don't imagine a Hunter would. I mean, there is a reason why you queue up against so many Hunters when you queue up on ladder. It's just pretty consistent against most things out there. So Trump, very, very strong position. Cipher still has quite a few decks to win with still.
Yeah, it's Tempo Mage. I mean, I remember Amaz had a bit of trouble with Tempo Mage recently in the Star Ladder. So it's a deck that, although it does see a lot of play on ladder, doesn't seem to be doing as well in tournament systems. So we'll see exactly if
All right.
that
well,
deck ends up being a problem.
This is the Mage against the Rogue. Both players playing a very tempo-based game.
Yeah.
I think
Mage
with the
has a pretty good deck here, like a pretty good lineup.
I think
good
with the
matchup.
like ideal hands from both players, the Rogue wins with a big Blade Flurry.
With ideal hands, yeah, I think I'd say so. I mean, Tempo Mage. If it was Freeze Mage, I'd say otherwise, but Tempo, yeah, definitely. It's one of those
Okay.
things.
Well, we have well, that's a pretty good hand from Trump now. A really good hand from Cipher. He just needs like maybe one decent creature you can play, or maybe like Flame Wake or something like that to really make it go.
Trump wants to pick up a backstab more than anything here for the following turns.
Well, he can eviscerate that if he wants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what's your other target? Flamewaker, probably. So you've got to be a bit careful about wasting those eviscerates. But yeah, I don't think he's in trouble. Even with the hand that Cipher has, it's still not remotely problematic yet.
It's not looking great. I think if Cipher had like a Frostbolt here, he'd actually like Frostbolt face and just push for a ridiculous amount of tempo.
Yeah, because with the Arcane Elect on the back end, the opponent has to have exactly, you know, Deadly Poison Flurry or Backstab SI to push you out.
Yeah. Well, Trump has not picked up either of those cards yet. Here comes
Oh,
the
man.
he can prep Eviscerate and SI though. So
Yeah.
kind of like a really weak backstab.
It's an okay play just because Tempo Mage is all about, well, I think it's pretty self-evident tempo. So if you can deny that, then suddenly you're going to be fine for the rest of the game. Because they really don't have a massive comeback mechanic besides Mirror Entity, which they very often need to get from Mad Scientists to get back in the game quickly.
More mirror images.
Yeah, very
Probably
useful.
best to save that one.
Yeah, you can protect your other mirror images, I mean. What if they had like Super Taunt? Like you have to attack the Super Taunt before you attack the taunts. How much play would that see?
Well,
you know what?
Kazan again.
Cipher plays Kazan in like every one of his decks.
We've only seen it in 2 though, haven't we? We haven't seen it in like...
I've seen it in 3 decks so far from him.
Have we?
I think. Yeah, I'm
We've
pretty
seen
sure.
it in the Mage twice now, and it was in his Hunter deck, right?
That was in the Hunter deck.
I think that was it. We've just seen it in this Mage twice, because it was also there in the opening game.
He played, wasn't he? No, he wasn't playing it in Warrior. That was an Iron Beak Owl for the tech.
Right. He's got his decks teched out, which is you know, the sign of a prepared player. But the tech choices maybe not the best ones against Trump's lineup. So Trump did come out favorably in that.
Yeah, and oh my god, that Lotheb from Trump is gonna be a big problem if Cipher doesn't play Mirror Entity here. But Mirror Entity doesn't even feel that great. You're kind of like, I guess I should play it.
What to do?
But what if he just plays a heal bot and then trades into it because he can? Like, it does nothing.
The light says
Alright. Yeah, that is pretty rough. Is Lotheb the card to play? It is a good card to play.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cipher basically skips his entire turn. He has nothing to play. Unless he picks up a minion off the top. Oh, wow. Oh, well, he does get a really good 5-drop for this situation, I'd say.
It's a really, really good 5-drop, but the draw from it is terrible there.
Cypher's draw with this deck is not lining up at all.
No.
Do you just oil yourself and kill that Drake and go face? Or do you play Shredder and trade with the Lotheb?
Yeah.
Or 3/3 Dagger?
No. I think I like... I don't even know if trading is that necessary, but I think Shredder developing a weapon is the play to make. 'Cause you have such a good turn next.
Alright, just gonna go and play as many minions as he can, knowing how Tempo Mage operates. He needs to get a really good Flame Waker to swing back in. That's not bad, but the problem is if you do that, then...
It just dies to the 5/1 Lotheb. You really can't do that.
Yeah, and your spells can't really be spammed anyway. Like, they don't achieve anything even if you spam them all. I mean, I guess if you had Flame Waker and you had like 10 mana, this would be a defendable play, but...
I think the play might have to be ping Lotheb and then just Flame Cannon.
No Mirror Entity?
I
mean, you've seen most minions.
Really risky. I think he's thinking of like Fireball instead of Flame Cannon, which I don't blame him either. The next turn he could have a higher tempo play. Because I mean, you know, most rogues have healing. You're behind on tempo, so you're gonna have to waste some burn anyway.
Wow, that's a great one. That's the best one.
That is actually the best one.
Yeah, like the Shredder wasn't even as good because it comes back.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a setback for Trump. Oh wow.
Or is it?
Yeah, not so much. Unlike Kel'Thas, he didn't come back like 17 expansions later. It was right away.
I think the play might be to just weapon up, and that's it. Oh, no, he's gonna go for it. The problem with the oil play here is if the buff hits the shredder, it's kind of annoying. Okay, you push for some damage here. This actually turned out really well. That was actually
good.
the best target.
That was the best target.
That was the best target. Okay.
Flame Cannon hits well, and Oil hits well, and now Cipher's got to split his mana between pings and actually dealing with this board. And Trump's considering keeping the dagger at full charge to get Deadly Poison to make it 6, so he deals a total of 12 instead of 8. But ultimately, you can escalate that over a few turns, and you get a bit more damage even.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that board is so threatening, and you have nothing.
Doomsayer
Fireball.
saves the day.
It does. It's really sick. Okay.
Now Trump draws off that Blood Mage. So, is that it?
All right. He's got 4 plus the 9. So nope,
No,
not
he's
quite.
a little short, but I guess
he's
at this
3
point
off.
you kind of push for it. You've seen 2 mirror images. So what could stop you from Cipher? There's like maybe plays a variant that contains taunts in the Tempo Mage. Like he's
Well, you
playing
have the
Belchers,
sap for
there's-
that.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd be able to go through a little bit, and you'd have to clear your board as well in the first place.
I actually don't know why he's deadly poisoning. I feel like you just attack with what you have,
And then re-deadly.
re-weapon, deadly the new weapon, and then SI.
Yeah. I think that's what I thought he was gonna do.
Well, you push for more damage this turn, I guess.
Oh man, that could be wild.
How wild could it be? There's no Deathwing.
Alakir? That could be wild.
Alakir would be pretty good, yeah.
Well, would you still live? Oh wow, right.
Whoa, the
Nice
true
pickup
horde.
right there. Nice pickup right there, Cipher.
No, that doesn't cut it. I guess he's gonna reveal it.
What do you mean? South Sea Deckhand is not a legendary and Emperor Thorson is not a dragon?
Nope. Nope,
Okay.
it is not. Oh man, Cipher getting crushed here. Trump is on match point in this best of 9. Trump just has to win with Hunter.
Yeah, with Hunter, he's got a total of 4 games to go up against before
Oh,
he's
God.
eliminated. And then if he wins one of them with Hunter, which I'll just let you run the stats on the likelihood that none of them end up being a win. Although that would be a story to tell. That would be a story to tell, but that's basically an $8,000 game for Trump. Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Trump's gonna have this. I mean, if Cipher comes back, it would be truly miraculous at this point.
Yeah, but then again, there's Kazan Mystics running around. You know that
I
might
guess.
do something. They've been spotted.
Cipher going to the rogue here.
And Trump playing a face or hybrid. I saw high main, so I've got to guess it's more of a hybrid deck than a face one.
Yeah, he has the face cards. Did we see the high main from Trump?
I think I saw it in the mulligan, and he just threw it away.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, so man, if Cipher's not running double heal bot, this is gonna be really painful because this is almost just he's just gonna get run over, and if that juggle hits as well, it's even worse.
Well, Cipher's plan is to just hope that Trump doesn't trade so he can get a really nice fan of knives off.
Yeah, you're gonna get a good fan of knives at some point.
The whole game might be based on this juggle, by the way. It's like a 50-50 pro. Oh, and Trump gets it.
But there's a
Easy
backstab.
game.
Well, there's a backstab. Don't scream
Okay.
victory just yet.
There's backstab, but he's still like really behind.
Yeah. Yeah, Trump's just gonna push with Wolf Rider. And then I guess if he picks up another backstab, then the game really gets turned around potentially, but there's a lot of damage coming in. And it's one of those matchups where you really don't even have to weave in your hero powers that much. because the rogue has a limited amount of healing. So if you can just put minions on the board, they're using their phase for removal, and that's basically furthering your agenda. Oh wow.
Vile Teacher might be the play.
Kind of have to, yeah. But then, by the time you're able to handle the board, Unleash becomes an issue.
There it is.
Wow, Trump.
Easiest Glaivezuka right here. Pushing
Yeah.
for 8 damage.
Okay, just gonna push for 6.
Just the 6. He wants the Mad Scientist.
What's that trap?
We've seen Freeze Trap in Trump's deck, though, haven't we? I'm like sure we've seen Freeze Trap.
I'm pretty sure we saw it in the first game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's actually gonna be able to stem some of the bleeding. All right, he might have time to pick up a heal bot. Keyword might.
Yeah, that's basically what he needs here. Unleash can push for some damage.
Yeah, you might keep it for kill command though. He's hoping to pick up Arcane Golem or Wolf Rider here.
Oh, no, you keep that for kill command now. I think it's Unleash time.
Yep. You're right. That Iron Beak Cowl kind of gave him another... getting a bit of an issue. Alright, back. So the Iron Beak Cowl definitely the kill command enabler. Cipher needs a miracle. He needs Healbot and Lotheb, basically.
Yeah.
Like back to back.
I think Trump's really just deciding if he wants to go face all up with the 3.
With an explosive trap set up, I'd probably just do that.
It's a freeze, but I think he'd still go face. Just to put him on even health.
Okay. I didn't see when they hovered over it. Wow. Cipher. What is that hand? What have you done to the Hearthstone gods? Like, his hand is... Like, how much is that hand worth? 30 mana total. 30 mana.
Mm-hmm.
32 now.
Well, Cipher doesn't kill him. Okay, now he kills him.
Yeah.
I mean, that
GG.
Trump. Yeah, that's GG, because he can't clear all the dogs. So it's just kill command for the win. That's it for
Yep.
Trump. Trump is our champion.
Trump just won $8,000
Wow.
on a hound hit.
Well played.
And a really good series of games against Cipher, who... I mean, I have to wonder... You know, sometimes when a misplay is made, you have to ask yourself how much of the entire matchup or the lineups would have made a difference. Like, if he'd won with that first game, what would have happened with the subsequent matches? Would they have been in his
Right,
favor
right.
and whatnot?
They could have been, but while Cipher did lose that first game strictly because of the misplay, it feels like a lot of the other games he bounced back. He was like pretty much in the zone,
Right. Yeah.
played great. It's just the Trump came, the cards came Trump's way, and I mean Trump's a good enough player to take advantage of every situation he gets a favorable spot.
Yep. So congratulations to Trump, the grand winner of the Vulcun Deckmasters series. So he's first place. Second place is Cipher. So again, that's no small feat. He's not going home empty-handed. Trump's getting his $16,000 and 100 BlizzCon points. Cipher gets 50
lot of good
BlizzCon
stuff.
points and $8,000. Third place is Surrender, who actually 3-0'd Life Coach in the first match we saw today. Man, that was actually pretty quick for a best of
Yeah,
nine.
that was much quicker than I thought it'd be. But I mean, Trump played mid-range and aggressive decks, and like every single time when the cards came his way, I mean, you're just winning it. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the score is what it is. So, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm happy
What
to
is
have
that?
casted this with you.
Oh, what's
It's a lot
that?
of fun. Was that what?
Okay.
What's what? Okay. All right. So Trump repping. Crip is just kind of piggybacking on Trump's success right now. So no shameless too. Like no problem with it.
I just had to stretch my back a little bit, you know.
It's all right. It's all right. I don't have my complexity shirt, so I can't really stretch it. And anyway, I have no complexity members in the grand finals, unfortunately.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. So, anyway, guys, we're about to wrap up this entire event. Again, this was the last day with the grand finals. We would just like to thank the sponsors before we leave. Vulcun for organizing this entire thing, the first season of Vulcun Deckmasters. Unfortunately, I do not think there will be a second one as they initially planned. I don't think... I think there's been a modification to their plans as far as the Hearthstone League goes. But... you know, it was still fun while it lasted. And again, squarespace.com for sponsoring the entire thing. Check them out, squarespace.com. They're a website where you can build your own. They're pretty cheap and inexpensive and very professional and intuitive to use. Any last words, Crip, before we go off?
It's just it's good to cast you. Good to see the games. Good to see Trump boys taking the win. And yeah, overall, I think a pretty cool end to a very epic series. Great stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. And well, while there may not be another Vulcun Deckmasters again, if it's going to be one, it's good that it went as well as it did.
Yeah. So all hail Trumpian, the Vulcun champion. Until the next time, guys, have a nice one. And we'll see you on another tournament.